intentionally not live as a protest, and in fact, not just protest, but direct action against the BBC. So, as Richard Barnard would say, yes, known in the Islamic world, never use your left hand to grease someone. In the Islamic world, how can I put it? They like literally use the left hand to, you know what? It's an insult. Reference to Jarhead. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not gonna say it on a YouTube live stream. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum, as they say in the Arab world, as Richard Barnard told me from Palestine Action, back when I used to be a hardcore member. Turns out, turns out I just jumped on the wrong bandwagon, but that's the story for another day. Okay, keeping it focused. Here's a message to the BBC. Here's a message to all you Capita goons working for TV licensing out here. Here's a message for you all. Please mind your own BBC business. Look, I don't work for the BBC. I don't get money from the BBC. I don't have anything to do with the BBC. Yeah, if this stream was being broadcast proper live, i.e., as you are watching it, oh, hello, one viewer. Bit weird because I thought this was meant to be streamed. It's actually hilariously embarrassing because the impression I got was this wasn't even technically a live stream. This was just a stream, which is technically not a live broadcast because it's for broadcast at 4 a.m. and it's currently 3:15 or whatever. Anyway, let me just check one thing. Okay. Don't really need that, but oh well. Yeah. Anyway, come to the chase. Please mind your own business. I don't have anything to do with the BBC. Why should you need a TV license simply to watch a live stream on YouTube, TikTok, and so on and so forth? You shouldn't morally. Like morally, the law is wrong. Legally, it's a criminal offence not to. But guess what? I don't care. Morally, like bring morality into it, and can't have any male breasts shown now identify as a woman, can I? It's ridiculous. It says someone will get this flagged for nudity, get bloody well demonetised. But anyway, yeah, I've made my point. The BBC needs to mind their own business. And a shout out to that TV licensing goon whose name is unknown and who I haven't met, who is scheduled to visit my unknown address at my new flat tomorrow. Later on today, I mean, yeah. I've moved out my parents' house and now in this wonderful flat in Wyndham, and I'm enjoying life here. Yeah, I'll keep it down to not disturb the neighbours, but yeah. Wonderful life here. And yeah, I think the BBC needs to mind their own business. I think the law needs to be changed. And furthermore, even if someone is watching live television without a licence, my view is it shouldn't be a criminal matter. Like, seriously, there are people in prison for not paying a fine for the crime of not paying for a TV licence to watch live TV. Yes, I'm not kidding. There are people in prison right now. The irony being, in prison, you get access to TV. Although you do have to pay for it, but you do get access to it. As long as you're not naughty. You know, shout out to Mr. D, talking of prison, HMP High Point former prison officer. I met him in Norwich once. He was a lot more reasonable than most of the other screws from what he said. Like, as he told me, I used to tolerate inmates having a little bit of fun, because if you didn't, you'd never get home you just never would get to go home. You would be stuck in prison all day long in the wing office doing loads of paperwork, including things like sworn statements, including things like whatever the word is, getting together CCTV, including things like having to deal with the paperwork side for adjudications, including potentially interviewing other prisoners for evidence, including all that, just to get someone on something silly like a marijuana charge. Ridiculous. Like, yeah, ridiculous. I remember he told me all the female officers in prison used to be absolutely just way too strict for male prisoners. No, he didn't say male prisoners. He said just way too strict. Full stop. I'm not sure what he meant. Did he mean full stop, or did he mean for uh or did he mean for how can I put it, male identifying prisoners? Well, the hilarious thing is there are quite a few female identifying prisoners in the male state. And furthermore, there are some male identifying prisoners in the female state. Oh god, I feel sorry for them. Female officers are apparently so terrible in prison. I really do feel sorry for the shout out to the unknown number of female to male transgender men currently being held in women's prisons, even though they'd rather be held with other men. Because men's prisons might be horrible, but at least most of the screws there, prison officers there, tend to be more reasonable. Yeah, no, started off with minding one's own BBC business for the BBC, ended with why it's also important for prison officers to mind their own business unless it's necessary for them to interfere. A lot of the time when they interfere, it isn't. I agree with Mr. D, he's right. He told me how he was old school. That was fun, that conversation. Remember, that was after he got a new job. Would you believe it was a traffic warden in Norwich? When I met him at, yeah, Norwich, yeah. With some other people, yeah, and that was a fun conversation. But yeah, presumably he meant for all prisoners, but even if he only meant for male identifying prisoners, the fact is these female officers are just way too much for even female or non-binary identifying prisoners in the male state, and frankly, those female officers being too strict in the women's estate with both male and female and non-binary identifying prisoners in the female state, as one could be in the female state based on assignment of birth and identifies pretty much any gender, which is ridiculous that women's rights campaigners literally managed to secure a ban on transgender women in the female prison estate on the basis that men don't belong in women's prisons. Yet this exact situation has ironically been created as in Scotland anyway. In England, Wales, situation's unchanged. If you're legally female, female prison estate. I wish I was legally female, but unfortunately I'm not. So instead, my tool for avoiding the male prison estate is called keeping my nose nice and clean, and you don't have to worry about that. At least until I get my GRC anyway. I'm only kidding. I just will keep my nose clean and that'll be it. But anyhow, yeah, enough said about prison. Like, all I'll say is don't fucking go there. Alright, I'm probably just let off loose for an F-bomb. We should probably probably put an age restriction on there. Apparently, that word, you have to be 18 to hear it. Yeah, just don't go to that shithole. Already swore, fuck it. May as well carry on. Don't go there. Full stop. It doesn't matter your assignment of birth, doesn't matter legal gender, doesn't matter whether you're affected by the ban on trans women in our female prisons. Just don't go to prison. Stay out of trouble and keep your nose clean. Yeah, talking of keeping my nose clean, I'm currently on probation for my criminal damage. I know there's one far right put Britain first guy who will know that say in the comments about, ooh, Israel won because he got convicted. Well, in response to that, I could say, well, there are numerous other Palestine actionists who got away with it. So in your face. Only kidding, I'm just jesting around. I actually love you all. I actually appreciate having different points of view on my channel, because a channel that acts as nothing more than an echo chamber is just like a magistrate's court back in the old days when, before they abolished the stupid and pointless committal proceedings, a prosecutor would present their case under oath using sworn statements and nothing more to corroborate. No CSI, no forensics, no fingerprints, no DNA, nothing like that. The sworn statements and presenting it as if the defendant had already pleaded guilty. Nothing more than sworn statements. By stating facts as if they had been agreed between defence and prosecution when they weren't agreed. For example, in the case of my mate Tom, when he got attacked by someone called Kevin with a knife, I can't say full names, I'll probably get demonetised. The prosecutor in court talked about how Tom attacks Kevin with a knife. There was no use of the word alleged, there was no use of the word suspect. There was no use of language to indicate the only evidence behind that wasn't a guilty plea, wasn't corroborating forensics, wasn't the interview because Tom had answered for no comment, was nothing like that. All it was a sworn statement by Kevin Miles in which he witnessed against himself and admitted outside the police station to, instead of calling 999, right outside the police station, using a mobile phone to calling for his family members to come and assist him. Furthermore, the only independent witness at the scene, Rosemary, I'll call her, Rosemary, made a statement which immediately disproved Kevin's assertions. Like, the police raided Tom's address on the basis that Rosemary had said, which was a lie, because she hadn't, that he had gone home. In fact, she simply said that Tom had left the area. His point was, how could she have known if I'd gone home? It's what happened. It's because there were problems caused by his family members blocking my way into the police station. I had to go the other way to the police station in my car. I needed my car for protection. There were multiple sayings, I believed they were going to murder me or do serious damage because Kevin had threatened to fucking kill me. In his words, he said, I'm going to fucking kill you while wielding a knife. So he went a long way to the police station and tried to attract the attention of officers. When the station was closed, we used the telephone on the outside to report the assault, as he did not have a mobile telephone. He did so, police arrived, attended, spoke to him, spoke to Kevin, spoke to Rosemary, and proceeded to then stop and search Tom for a knife. None was found. Nevertheless, they then proceeded to arrest him on suspicion of stabbing, I believe, grievous bodily harm, namely stabbing Kevin Miles with a knife. And following the consultation, and he was then taken to Berry Pick Police Investigation Centre. It's all on BritishJustice.org. But yeah, summarise what then happened. Was after he reached Berry Pick, he was interviewed, did no comment after being held for a long time in the cells, and went back to the cell. Then a decision was made that he would be charged with the offence of, I believe, grievous bodily harm, whatever it was. Well, I don't think it was grievous, I think it was just actual bodily harm. And refused bail, at which point he appeared, I believe, before Ipswich Magistrates Court, where presumably would have been Ipswich. Yeah, it must have been from Berry Pick, because imagine from Bury St Edmunds, the nearest would be Ipswich. And Ipswich, God, I've got to rest. Yeah, Ipswich Magistrates Court. Even his own fucking solicitor refused to apply for bail. His own solicitor later said, I didn't apply and won't be applying on the basis that it's better that you remain in prison, on the basis that at least in prison you can't be accused of further offences. This is, of course, fucking bullshit. Because I have seen another prison inmate called Bill following a bit of drama, but mutual drama between him and the prison officer, Mr. Martin. I remember him. Yeah, following an argument, he was accused of. No, this isn't here or there. He got accused of 2 separate offences under prison law and charged with adjudications. The fact is, you can be accused of an offence in prison. So that argument doesn't even hold water. Plus, as Tom so eloquently put it, if you were to take the argument to its logical conclusion, surely the best thing that Tom's own defence solicitor, yes, the person whose job is to stick up for their client, challenge evidence, make points of law, cross-examine witnesses and so on, could have got him, would have been life imprisonment. If we take that argument to its logical conclusion, I agree. Like, think of it that way. It doesn't even fucking make sense. You absolutely can be arrested and charged for an offence if committed anywhere, even inside a prison. Being inside a prison makes no difference. It's not as if prison suddenly has some kind of magical force field that prevents people committing offences. Like any prison officer who's recently done a shift at HMP Norwich will know exactly what I mean, because even the mainstream fucking media admits there is open gang warfare at HMP Norwich. Although you won't get much evidence to charge anyone to criminal court, or even potentially a prison adjudication, because in prison, there's a saying, snitches get stitches, and yeah, and people don't want to snitch or want to be informing, be seen as snitching on other prisoners, because many prisoners regard snitching as an atrocious act, and that many prisoners would much rather be accused of being a nonce than be accused of being a grass, because apparently in prison, being a nonce is less bad, which is odd, but it's just the way it is, because I'll be honest, all prisoners are idiots. My view is the other way around. Being a grass is less bad, but anyhow, yeah, going back to what happened at Ipswich Magistrates Court, numerous silly and illogical assertions, in my view, but they would say sensible. They said that because the alleged incident in which Tom allegedly stabbed Kevin occurred too close to his home, but he cannot be granted bail to that address. And we can't just bail him without an address because of risks that he will abscond or might interfere with witnesses. In fact, in any event, that could happen. So, for the usual reasons, as they put it, bail refused. The defence didn't even bother applying for bail, even his own defence lawyer. Oh, God. But anyway, I know I go on. I'm sorry. It's just it's a stressful fucking experience what I went through. I can resonate with Tom's experience. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Tom. I haven't met him in person. I have read his blog, British Justice Organs. Also, I've seen his other websites, nortonpeskett.com, norpez.com, not norpez.com, norpez.com, suffolkconstabulary.org, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I remember Tom. He's a wonderful guy. Yeah, as Tom puts it, if ever you end up in prison, from what I've been told, although some people would dispute this, if you are attacked and you have no one else, don't know anyone else who can stick up for you, by all means press the big red button. That's the general emergency alarm. Press that and that will stop association for the whole wing. So fucking be it. Let it be known, if anyone hits you or kicks you or attacks you, the whole wing will end up losing its association privileges. They are not rights, they are privileges. So don't be a jackass. Yeah, this is a message for all you jackasses out there. Fuck off and leave the new guy alone. Fuck's sake. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I guess this video can be part of my gold mine of embarrassing videos. So, yeah. Also, fucking Encyclopedia Dramatica, if you ask for me, is full of lies. It's full of lies. Their own legal disclaimer admits that pretty much every fucking thing on Encyclopedia Dramatica is a lie. Let me say that again. Even Encyclopedia Dramatica will are not willing to assert the truthfulness of a single word on Encyclopedia Dramatica. In other words, even Encyclopedia Dramatica don't stand by Encyclopedia Dramatica. So how the fuck can you trust an unreliable source that is unreliable according to a disclaimer written on the same site on which people are actually relying on their smear campaigns? I mean, like, smear campaigns reminds me of Colin Johnson and first of all, this is false, but I know this is dead and buried. But anyway, yeah, someone alleged that Colin Johnson placed £500 bet on Marine Le Pen before then proceeding to blame it on his 13-year-old son because he knew that his 13-year-old son isn't legally allowed to gamble. That turned out to be proven a hoax because the hoaxer himself went to the press and under conditional anonymity admitted about how he did it for the lols, how he, those weren't his exact words, or I'm putting words in his mouth, how he did it as a prank, and how he, from his prior experience, knew how to make a hoax story such as this spread. And so came the whole Colin Johnson is a Nazi thing, which he isn't, but it actually reminds me of a song called David Rovix is a Nazi. Yeah, shout out to David Rovix. His music is good. Also, shout out to Loki. His music is good. Like I like the line about what money can and can't buy. Money can buy, I think it can buy you a bath. It can't buy purity. Money can buy bodyguards, but it can't buy security, and so on. Like, there's wonderful music, Loki. I like the yeah. God, I feel like Michael Scott in the office or Dwight K. Schrute. But anyway, shout out to Dwayne Wilson, the guy who played Dwight Schrute, and shout out to Steve Carell, the guy who played Michael Scott. But anyway, also like the joint song performed by Loki and Immortal Technique. But yeah, shout out to the people who were viewing my video, even though I didn't know it was meant to be live until 4 AM. But I think I'll end here. Thank you. They will get there.